That tonight, our member spotlight is on the Hargraves, Dave, or Linda. I don't know who's coming up to speak, but let's go ahead and have them come up and share a little bit of their story. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Linda delegated me her speaking part, so I'm going to do both parts. So I've known Linda since she was 8 years old, so that's like 55 years. We started dating when she was 18. We grew up in the same swim team together and got married a few years later, and this May the 2nd will be our 40th wedding anniversary. So it's been a while. So Linda focuses primarily on open water swimming. She actually swam on the British long distance swim team for a number of years, doing everything from 5K, which she used to do in like 63 minutes, so that's under 20 minutes, 21 minutes an hour, a mile, so it's pretty fast. And she did all the way up to the 17-mile Windermere International World Championships at the time. So lots of long distance swimming. She also was played on the first Great Britain ladies water polo team. And she also tried swimming the English Channel as a solo when she was about 18. Didn't quite make it, but went back about 4 years ago and conquered the English Channel as part of a relay team. Triathlon-wise, she's done about 50 triathlons over the last 30 years, including the Intimidator 70.3 at Claremont. When she came out of T2, someone handed her a little packet, which she thought was an energy gel. So she got it all down her, even though it tasted terrible. That's because it was sunscreen.
Give her permission to tell that story.
So now she gave me, delegated to me, so I can tell. So now she focuses on long distance swimming, open water swimming. She's very active with the Sarasota Sharks Masters, and yeah, that's about her athletic career. Career-wise, she was a preschool teacher for most of the time we lived in Rhode Island. And nowadays, she's sort of the chairperson and the manager of the Hargraves Family Charitable Foundation, which we started 3 years ago. So one of the things that I forgot to mention is when we first got married, we traveled around a lot. We lived in England and then went to Southern Ireland, and then we were in Northern Ireland, and we came to the US. We went back to England and then back to the US. And one of the things that we always did was wherever we went, we joined the local swim team or swim club and the local triathlon club, just like the store. And that's how we got to know most people, and most of our friends throughout life have always been athletes that we've met at these types of clubs. So that's, been a big part of our life. In terms of my athletic background, I used to do the long distance swims that Linda did as well, but I was never quite as good as her. I played water polo at a pretty high level in England for a number of years, but when we moved to the US in 1986, there was no water polo up in Rhode Island, so I focused more on running. I had this patch where I did 10 marathons, including the Boston Marathon 4 times. And then with a background of swimming and running, I bought my first bike. It cost about $100, which is a lot less than the one I've got now. And did my first triathlon. So in the 34 years since then, I've probably done 200 triathlons, including the Great Floridian, 140.6 up at Claremont. I did that in 12 hours 26, way back in 2004. In 2012, I did the Half Ironman World Championships out in Vegas. And each year that I age up, so when I was 50, 55, 60, 65, I've always gone and done the ITU Worlds. And my best place at ITU Worlds was 8th, which I got in Australia in 2018. Career-wise, it certainly impacted my training because I was 32 years with Hasbro, the toy company, making Star Wars Mandalorian toys and everything. And I spent 15 years sort of in the C-suite as Chief Financial Officer and then Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Operating Officer. And unfortunately, when you're sort of at that level in a $5 billion global corporation, it doesn't leave a lot of time for training. So I always sort of felt that I hadn't achieved my best. So when I retired and came down here in 2015, I said, right, that's it. I'm really going to commit to triathlon. So for the last 6 years, I've been training twice a day, 6 days a week. Adam is my coach, and he's not here tonight, but most of you know Adam is a very good coach. He sets all my schedules, and he's been known to come over to Brookside School track and stand there with a stopwatch whilst he makes me do 10 400 repeats around the track. It's a bit crazy, but there you go. All of this recent training means that at the age of 68, I'm actually doing sprint triathlons faster than I've ever done in my life. And the goal is to go to the ITU Worlds next year when I age up to 70 and try and get on the podium. So that's the goal. So that's it.
Where's that next year?
Next year is in Abu Dhabi.
Okay, so we all want to go cheer you on there.
The sprints are in Montreal.
Oh,
The
okay.
sprints are in Montreal early in the season, and the standard distance is in Abu Dhabi round about the beginning of November next year. So,
Abu
yeah.
Dhabi.
Yeah.
Does
Near
anybody have
Dubai.
any questions, comments, concerns for Dave?
Beautiful testimonial and story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, I'm just glad you're that far ahead of me in age group that I never catch you.
Linda ate sunscreen. What's your craziest triathlon?
You're not getting away from your 3 minutes.
Craziest triathlon
Happening, yeah. What's your sunscreen equivalent?
I don't think I've got a sunscreen equivalent. I mean, I've gone the wrong direction a couple of times. I remember one time.
Linda has one.
Oh, you got one? Oh yeah, okay, I've got one. So, does anyone ever remember the Soft Ride Rocket TT?
Yeah.
It was the first bike that didn't have a kind of down tube, and it was a car. So, I was riding a Soft Ride Rocket TT, and the carbon fiber beam that you sit on kind of delaminated from the frame that it went into. So as I'm riding in this triathlon, it's going down and down and down. And this was at Port de Soto. So I look like I'm riding on a kid's tricycle because I'm about 1 inch off the wheel. And I was still overtaking people, fortunately, but it was rather comical to see the seat about 1 inch above the wheel. So that was probably the funniest triathlon story I've got.
That's great.
Okay?
All set?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.